embrace the magical side of life, where anything is possible and the infinite is accessible to all? Let's have a conscious conversation about what's going on in the world, in your life, and your relationship from the expanded perspective of your soul. The path to awareness begins and ends in the heart. So let's take it there, one step at a time, and learn to cultivate magic in your life every single day. In each episode, we share a collective space in which we discover the unique facets of our own magic and embody our superhuman qualities by humbly exploring how it's super simply to be human. Hosts Kai and Dell co-create a magical experience to remind you that you are magical as fuck. Now, be unleashed. This is our daily magic.
We saw your smile during the intro, so I'm pretty sure I know what part made you smile.
Was amazing. Right. I love the intro. It's very good. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you. And welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of our Daily Magic Podcast. Our intention is, just like our video said, every single person who is going to watch this or is watching this with us live right now is magical AF. And what we like to do is have magical conversations with other magical beings who showcase their own unique magic being brought into the world, just so that you can see what is possible when your magic is unleashed. And our intention with this is you can be able to get something from this conversation to help you incorporate more of your magic into the world, because all of our magic is needed to make this new transition of what's happening collectively in this collective earth right now. And perfect segue, because our guest is going to have some amazing magic to share about that. So bring your popcorn, bring the questions, bring the comments. This is going to be a fun, engaging conversation, and we're going to go some places.
That's right.
So, of course, I'm Dell, and
I'm Kai. And I have the honor and the pleasure of introducing our special guest today. Livia is a 5D visionary, mentor, and trance-channel for advanced civilization from the 7th dimension, called the Arcturian Council of Light. Her mission with the Arcturian Council is to activate 5D leaders, visionaries, and conscious entrepreneurs in their soul missions. Assisted by her guides, Livia's teachings are empowering, transformative, and paradigm-breaking as you're taken into a new, deep journey of self-discovery and self-realization. Leading powerful group channeling programs and activations, Livia is teaching quantum technology from 5D, 7D, multidimensionality, how to navigate realities and timelines. That's pretty cool. And co-create with civilizations from the higher realms of existence. In dedication and service to others, Livia is a catalyst for the new Earth leaders ready to co-create a new era of human evolution and living from the heart. Welcome, Livia.
Thank you so much, Kai and Dell, for having me here, and thank you for this beautiful introduction. And I'm just so excited having this conversation with you today and sharing and, co-creating in this space magic, because I feel like the way we can flow with the energy in this space can be absolutely amazing. So I'm excited to share with you more about my work and, what I'm doing here on this planet, but in the same time, finding out more about you as well, and like tuning into your audience, because I can feel them already, like I can feel their excitement. And I really like, how you are actually creating these spaces here and introducing guests. And I love the energy of your show. Amazing. So thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being here. Yeah, we would love to know how this whole thing began. How did your journey start with the Arcturian Council?
Yeah, so, I had a different life before I was actually quantum shifted into this one. So I worked for 15 years for corporations. And at some point, I was working in Silicon Valley, and I was in the United States and Ireland as well. So it was an entire journey. I was completely plugged into the system. I didn't have any contact with spirituality. I was not spiritual at all. I didn't even know what that is. And I was not aware or conscious in any way. So I was just fully plugged into the matrix, and I had a very successful career in working for big IT corporations. And I was very happy with my life, actually. I was just like doing what I knew that is possible within that paradigm, and I was very good at it, And at some point, something happened. Like I was in 2016, I was in Ireland, just coming back from the United States, and I had this, I fainted on the couch, like I was prepared, like 6 o'clock in the morning, opening up, going into a meeting with 25 people that I was managing. They were waiting for me on the line. And I was like, boom, something like put me down. And when I woke up from that, I started to hear like voices in my head, like millions of people speaking in the same time, but I couldn't get any message out of it, So it was a very intense restart of my mind, of my brain. And I didn't know what happened. And, the way I used to know myself before, I was a very practical, logical person. So, I was taking very practical action. I called my manager at that time and say, hey, something is wrong with me. I think I'm going through a burnout or something. I'm starting hearing voices in my head. I need to take some days out. So my manager was like, I was a very good employee. I was saving lots of money. I was a very good asset for the company, so they were like, they didn't even care, and they didn't even hear what I say. They just heard like I need to take off, and they were like, okay, you go and sort yourself out, So I started a journey from that point for 6 months, where I tried to actually understand what is going on with me. And I met the right people at the right time. Like I met like earth angels, if I can say like that, because I felt like in that moment I was placed onto this pathway with aligned synchronicities and little miracles and things that was not making sense for me for that version of myself. But actually what happened is that I had a huge awakening where the higher councils of light that I'm working now, they were just restarting my brain, and they were like activating me into just coming back online in awakening mode, like they just woke me up super super fast. So it was my body that was trying, and my mind that was trying to readjust to these new energies and the changes. And I was so lucky because I met the right people in this journey of trying to understand what's going on with me. And, they actually introduced me to the spiritual world, and they told me, hey, it's like, you are awakening, you are not losing your mind, you are not bipolar, you don't have to be in a mental institution. There is something within you that is accelerated. We never seen something like this, but you are good, and you just have to like completely surrender to whatever process is happening within you. So I went through this journey where there were like a couple of months where I couldn't work. Actually 6 months I couldn't work, while my manager and the entire company were waiting for me to come back, and they were like, take as much time as you want. They were paying me the salary even if I was not there, but come back when you fix yourself. And then I realized, in that 6 months time, I went through so many spiritual experiences, and I had such a huge awakenings and realizations and insights. And I started to see, multiple realities, and I started to action multidimensionality and so on, that I just couldn't go back. It's like, it's a process where when you start, you can't go back to the old version of yourself. And I my body was so sensitive at that time that when I was approaching a building where there were like servers and laptops and wires and electrical system and so on, I was so sensitive. I could feel that in my electromagnetic field, you know. So actually I couldn't approach even the building to go into the building and, you know, go into my desk. So I was calling them from outside, like, guys, I just can't, I need to resign. Like, I can't even approach the building, you know. So it was very, very interesting journey. So guys, it's like my journey was so interesting. Like, nothing from that moment when my awakening happened is boring in my life. Like everything is like, you know, an entire journey of co-creation with source energy, with my higher self, with spirit, with other civilizations, and it's just magic, you know. So this is how it started. So actually when I had this huge awakening in that 6 months time, it was a civilization from Sirius Council of Light, from Sirius B, that connected to me, and they trained me from that moment for 1 year and prepared my channel. They did a lot of readjustments and configurations within, you know, my neurological synapses and internal circuitry to be able to align, mathematically align. Well, they were doing some things on me, guys, with such a level of precision and accuracy that my mind was like blown away of how they were working on my body and preparing me to be a trance-channel for the Arcturian Council of Light. So they worked on me for 1 year, and then, you know, they told me one night, I still remember that moment, it was in 2017, it was in February, it was a super moon, and the Sirius Council told me, you go now out, it was 11 o'clock in the evening, and you meditate under that moon, and they taught me, you know, for 1 year how to bring the moon energy into my third eye and how to actually connect, you know, to the moon energy. So in that moment, you know, I brought the moon energy into my third eye pineal gland, and I could feel, you know, like the entire like power of that stargate, you know, that the moon was actually creating. There were planetary alignment that happened at that point. And then the Arcturian Council, I felt like a huge block of data, like a huge column of light coming through me, and my channel opened, and the Arcturian Council came into my body, because I'm a trance channel. So I go into a trance and these beings are flowing through me. My voice is changing. Everything I'm transmitting is completely different. My consciousness is out. And when I come back, I don't remember anything. But for, you know, they can be in my body and transmit to you like for 2-3 hours. And when I come back, for me, it's just one minute. Like I felt like I never was back, you know. It's just I'm coming back fully, and I have no recollection of linearity of time. So for me, time and space, wherever I'm placed, where my consciousness is placed, doesn't have a recollection of linearity. So this is what happened in February 2017. You know, I had this huge connection with the Arcturian Council of Light, and since that moment, I realized that, you know, holy shit, I'm here to do something else than just work for this corporation and save, you know, millions of US dollars for these guys that are sailing their yacht, you know. I'm here to do something more important. So, you know, so in that moment, I actually, you know, I actually realized, and I just couldn't go back to not believing or not trusting or not claiming that reality. So I just claimed that reality, and I said, you know, to myself, like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but I'm just going to do it. So I have no idea how this will actually help the world, impact the world, how I'm going to live from this, you know, because I didn't even know how to bring this in a business format, like how to create a service to this planet. How am I going to support myself by actually holding that frequency and connection with the Arcturian Council? But I said to myself, you know what, I'm just going for it because this is amazing. And you know, I was so excited. My heart was so excited. And I was literally on purpose. Like I had a soul purpose in that moment. You know, I felt like, whoa, this is amazing. And it was so crazy, guys, because, you know, this happened to me in a very later stage of my life, you know. So it didn't happen when I was 20 years old, you know, like I had a initial contact at 18 years old, but you know, at that time I was not ready. So when they came through, I was 33 years old. So, you know, it was like, I already built so much in my life. Like I had a career, I had like, you know, success, and, you know, I was successful in 3D. I had like power, money, and fame. I was rocking it, you know. And then when this shift happened, it's like, oh my God, like I have to let go of that completely, of that entire paradigm and matrix, and start from scratch, start from zero, like walk unknown path, because I don't even know how I'm going to create in this newness, but I trusted, and I'm very devoted I have some very good values and qualities within myself, when I know that when my heart tells me that is the right thing to do, and it speaks truly, I'm for it, I'm going for it, so I let go, of the old paradigm and everything I have built and created, and that comfortable life that I had, and I moved into something completely new. And it was challenging, for my human. My human had to go through huge processes, in order to, I had to deconstruct and, release social conditioning, cultural conditioning. There was a lot of beliefs that I had to release. There was a lot of what I can say. I went through the dark night of the soul in a very accelerated way, but I had to do that healing process and deconstruction and fully let go of identities. And I think the identity part was actually the most challenging one, because I had to, there were layers and layers and layers and layers of identity that I had to peel, in order for actually to come into a space and not identify myself with anything, and just be okay of not being anybody and being everything in the same time. When you are connected to these higher frequencies, you can't just define yourself in any way. There is no definition, but in that space you can create amazingness and miracles and magic, and there's so much potential and infinite possibilities. And it doesn't matter who you are, but you are it, you are becoming it. So this is how I started. 2017 was for me the point of connection with the Arcturian Council of Light, and from that moment I took steps. I continue walking this path, and I start to magnetize and attract in my life the most incredible connections and people, and doors start opening up. And I created and built a divine service where I'm supporting now new earth leaders, I'm supporting visionaries, I'm supporting conscious entrepreneurs, conscious creators, people that are awakened and they are ready to take their journey to the next level. And I'm excited that I'm doing this, because I feel like, it gives me so much joy, and also to see people transforming and taking the journeys, and also, accelerating very fast, because this is what is probably most unique to my work, is that the acceleration is very fast, because the people that are working with me, they are taking the same path that I took. For me it was super fast, and I have those codexes of light, those codes that had been, downloaded in my energetic fields. And how the Arcturian Council and the Sirius Council are working with people, is they are shifting their consciousness and, moving them through quantum time and realities, and time space continues in a very accelerated way. So, for others, it might take 5-10 years to actually, access a new frequency bandwidth. For the people that, I'm helping, they are in a couple of weeks to months, they are there. And it's huge for them, because it's holy shit, I can't go back. I have people coming to me, it's my consciousness shifted so much, I can't connect that version of myself I was 1 month ago. It's yes. And then there is even if you let breadcrumbs, you can't go back. Those breadcrumbs are not there. Everything collapsed, So this is in a nutshell. I can speak hours about it, but I let you ask the questions.
Yeah. Well, from all of that to encompass the essence of what you said to me, holy shit. That's the perfect way of saying it. And wow. You dropped so much nuggets that I want to dive into from it, but that is an amazing, unique story. The one that also got me very curious is the moon energy, like you mentioned, of using the moon energy to work with your energy centers. And I'm curious about that because of the fact of all the different energies and stuff that are going on. Let's say the retrogrades, or right now, was it the Lionsgate or something they're talking about? Mm-hmm. Are you using those energies as well to work with your energy centers, in that powerful way?
Well, depends. For example, planets are always moving, everything in the universes and, in the cosmos and the galaxies is there is a continual movement and evolution. And I'm not so much connected to retrogrades because, you know, sometimes people in the collective are creating these beliefs that, you know, retrogrades are not good, and, you know, direct, you know, movement of the planet is good. And I feel like, yes, we are influenced by the movement of the planet and the planetary alignment. But, you know, we always have a choice, actually, you know, to choose if our individual connection to an, you know, like cosmic event, of planetary event or galactic event, and collective connection, you know. So, for example, Lionsgate, because we are still in the energies of it, and I'm happy that we have this conversation now, is that, you know, the energies of the Sirius aligning with the sun and the great central sun has a direct impact on planet Earth, because Sirius has been the spiritual mother, if I can say like that, of Earth for thousands of years. You know, like Sirius has influenced our planet for like when we had the civilizations of Lemuria and Atlantis and Egypt. There's a lot of knowledge that is coming from Sirius through time, you know, in our history, our human evolution. And you know, and in the Lion's Gate is this powerful connection that we can have, where individually we can actually go into a space of meditation and invite the energy from Sirius. Like the way I teach, and, you know, I was actually teaching, you know, my students in what to do in this timeline is for them to sun gaze, or you know, at the sunrise or sunset, because Sirius is beaming the frequencies through the gateway of our sun. So the sun is transmitting the codes, and you are taking the codes through your retina in your eye. So you are actually, those light codes are like golden hieroglyphs of light that is going straight in your eye and is activating your pineal gland. So it's going into your physical eye, your third eye, and your pineal gland. And this is where the shift in consciousness is happening. So I recommend to everyone watching us, because we are still in the energies of Sirius, to just go and look at the sun from sunset, but, you know, gaze with intention, like connect, like go and watch the sunset, and also, you know, intend to receive the frequencies from Sirius. And it's very good because can actually accelerate, these frequencies are accelerating your healing, are accelerating your manifestation, are accelerating everything you want to magnetize or attract in your life, is accelerating, you know, everything. So there is something, an energy of acceleration. But in the same time, what I found very profound in this gateway from Lionsgate is for you guys to stargaze, like look at the Sirius planet, locate it with your, you know, mobile app on the sky, and look at Sirius and receive, you know, Sirius on the sky sometimes is like blinking blue and red and white light. I always look, you know, when I look at Sirius, I always look at the stars, like those guys are having a party. It's like a disco party there, because there are like these three colors always beam. And when you stargaze, you know, in the evening, in the nighttime, and look at Sirius, you are receiving now a lot as well. So there are, you know, these two ways that we can actually let the energies, and, you know, some of you will receive the energies in your body, some of you will not, but trust that once you connect with intention with this planet, you are receiving something in your energetic field that is you know, contributing to making you more aware. Yeah, I hope this helps. Okay, so Kai and Dell, they froze. Let's see where they are. Probably their internet connection is not perfect.
keep going, keep going.
Just and reading the comments, from people that are with us live.
Nice. Did you happen to answer that question? How long did you deny it before you finally accepted how you were different?
No, I didn't answer. I was just reading now. So, well, I think the denial, I couldn't actually deny for such a long time, because it was obvious, and it was something shifted so big within me that I couldn't go back anyway. So I had no other choice. It felt like the transformation already happened, and when you feel that you are already changed, you can't just go back. You are not even an option. You are just a different person. I feel like I didn't have that lag. There is a lag when you shift timeline, when your mind is actually kicks in and you have to choose or deny and to be honest with you, the man that is asking this question, like, to be honest with you, I'm very different. I'm still different, but I think I made peace with that at some point, in my journey, because I can see, I see things in a different way. My perception of reality is different. The way I relate with people, it's different as well. I'm trying to be as how to say, relatable to everyone as I can, but I know that my perception of reality and my life and my, what I'm doing is very different. And what is interesting about this is like I let go of wanting to have social validation and approval. Like I let go of that need of being accepted. I just, I went into a space of belonging, and I said, you know what, I'm belonging to this planet, I'm belonging to the Earth tribe, I'm belonging to my family, I'm belonging to my friends, whoever friends wants to still stay around me, like I had that feeling of belonging. And it's like, I don't want, like, I didn't put my belonging, I didn't project it outside of myself, waiting for society to accept me. I just claim that for myself, and it's like, you know what? I don't care if people accept me or not. I don't know if they would like what I'm doing or not. I don't know if it's social acceptable or not, but I'm just going to do my thing, and my tribe will find me, and I will find my tribe. I will find people that will truly resonate with who I am and with my work and with my journey. And even if I will not have 100 friends, but I will have 2 friends, I'm okay with that, And it was a period of aloneness and loneliness, and that was the challenging one, when I shifted and I had to let go of my job, and I have to let go of friends, and I have to let go of colleagues. And even my mother didn't want to speak with me, for 1 year she didn't speak with me, because it's like, I told her, hey mom, I'm channeling an alien civilization, and my mission on this planet is to awaken people and help them in their ascension process. My mom didn't understood anything. And when she heard about the word alien, she's it's like, oh my God, it's like, I don't know what's happening with you, but you let go of everything that you built, and you are, I don't know what's happening. And my mom felt scared, people are scared of the unknown. When you are not following, the society pathway, and you are a pattern interruption, and you are a glitch in the matrix, people are like, they don't know, they go into this fight and flight, it's like, whoa, what's going on? So yeah, I was alone for a while. I had to walk the path alone. That was hard, and I feel maybe I have like a stoic, way of actually keep going, like nothing can stop me, even if I'm like alone and lonely and like isolated. I actually stayed 1 year in self-isolation when the Sirius Council of Light was working with me, because it was needed. I was living in Ireland in this like cottage, which was, an Irish stone cottage. It was amazing, but I was alone in the middle of the nowhere, and my first neighbor was 1 kilometer away, and they were like farmers and so on, and I was just staying there. And Sirius Council was, I was trained day and night. So I needed that, I need to stay 1 year in isolation in order for me to actually receive and understand the human nature and human consciousness. And it was huge training, that they told me, it's like, after 1 year of training, they said, we train you in 1 year, we shift your consciousness. As for other human beings, 40 years. So now you are ready to go in the world. And when they told me, no, you're ready to go in the world, I left my Irish cottage and I felt like, what? It's like, whoa, it's like, where should I start? You know, it's like, I don't even know where to go, like where to go in the world. It's insane, you know? So yeah, it was a process, but you know, it's like, when I decided to go, like to actually step into that and, you know, to close the door of my cottage and not stay in that safe space anymore, in my bubble anymore, people start coming to me and it's like, hey, like, I don't know, like there is something about you, what are you doing? And it's like, I'm doing this. And, you know, people were kindly open and they're helping me, were introducing me back into the society, you know, and they were like, oh, let's co-create together, let's do this. And it was a process, you know, to come back, you know, but because it was another version of me that was coming back. It was not me anymore, that version that I left behind. I was completely dissolved and I had to learn about this new version and who is this person that is coming now out in the world. So yeah, just, you know, going back to the question, I didn't have the time to actually, you know, choose. Yeah.
I love it. It's also a good point in regards to spiritual awakening. And a lot of people who are watching our show, they experience their own awakening of their own, and a moment of isolation, like you were saying. And I see it as like doing the integration work of being with yourself. But for you, you actually became okay with being alone. But then also you did the integration and speaking your truth, letting go of the things you let go with love, and going back into civilization.
Mm-hmm.
They hear it, and sometimes a spiritual journey, like I just want to go to a mountain and meditate, or I want to go and just do psychedelics in the jungle forever, or whatever it is, and I don't want to go back to civilization. I remember hearing that all the time in spiritual circles, and they're like, this was such an amazing weekend. Now we gotta go back into the real world. It's like, huh?
Yeah, you know, I never took plant medicine. I was not guided to take plant medicine in my life, you know, and the only thing that I took was psilocybin, like mushrooms, in a very small dose. The council told me one to take, and they start to download a lot of information, and I was like in and out consciousness, and I was writing like crazy things that, you know, like a full download about some technologies, you know. But I took only 3 times mushrooms in my life. I don't smoke anything, so it's like, you know, they wanted me to actually connect the precision of my heart in a very pure way, you know, and I don't know if they did some huge changes in me that I'm able to do that with nothing. But I understand what you're saying, Dell, you know, around people going in these beautiful spaces of connection to their soul and their heart consciousness in like retreats or Vipassana or, you know, black room meditation or, you know, whatever, plant medicine. And then when they leave that space, it's like, you know, they feel like they don't want to come back in the world because they don't want to go back to the same old versions of themselves, you know. But some people, when they go through these transformations, even it's a weekend transformation and so on, they actually come back, but in a new version of themselves, and they are able to hold the frequency. But many are not able to hold the frequency because society conditioning and what reality is telling you of who you are, it's so intense that, you know, you go back into, you default back in the old ways. And I've seen many people that, you know, actually experience big transformations in the jungle and then came back, and they just came back the same because they didn't know how to hold the frequency. And this is what you were mentioning about integration, you know, how important the integration phase is, you know, to actually let those new version of you to fully settle in your body and code each cell of your being, you know, to actually don't go back to the old ways or go back with such a huge awareness that you are not, you know, you are very aware and you are choosing differently, you are thinking differently, you are like, you know, in a different stream. And I like that. And I love that people are doing this from the spiritual community. More and more people are awakening, you know, more and more people are waking up to these new realizations, you know, more and more people are choosing. It's like, hey, I'm going to Costa Rica, I'm going to Guatemala, I'm going to, you know, South America, and I'm going to do this work. You know, they are choosing it. Their soul is calling them there. So yes, it's beautiful. I'm excited about humanity, to be honest, because when when I came out from my cottage, I didn't know that it was other people like me. I thought that I'm the only one. I'm going to be a freak for the rest of my life, and I'm going to be in a circus. But then you meet people, and it's like, wow, like there are so many people out there actually, with different stages of consciousness, different parts of the journey. It doesn't, I got to the realization that it doesn't need everyone to be like me. I don't want people to be like me, like super aware, super conscious, to have this access. No, like we have to meet each other where we are at the level of consciousness, respect each other journeys, and help each other and co-create, because you learn. Like for me, I learn from people that are not awakened as well. I go and I have a conversation that is so meaningful to a point that inspires me so deeply, and I'm in that flow, and I'm like, whoa, I'm writing a post and that person is receiving something that I'm saying in a conscious way, and I'm planting a seed, in his or her consciousness. And it's a magical co-creation with everyone on earth, and I'm a bridge, like I don't like to be only in the spiritual community, only with people that are in 4D, 5D. I like to be walk with everyone, because I realize that wisdom stays in the simplicity, and the simplicity is actually what is ruling the world and the universe. Like the laws of the universe are very simple, and I found wisdom everywhere. Like everywhere I go, with every person I interact, with every soul I connect, there is a gift, there is a co-creation, there is a reciprocity, and I love life. I feel like this is the secret of life, to actually love everyone, and to be love and flow like love, and be non-judgmental and receive and co-create. And we don't have to be enlightened, because people is like, when am I going to be enlightened? When I'm going to be, there was someone that, it's funny, people, they have these expectations, they want to be enlightened tomorrow, it's like, when I'm going to have my 5D body, when I'm like a model and I'm in a higher version of myself, because my avatar self looks like that. It's like, hey, just take the journey, step by step. That's the thing, life is a journey. So it's doesn't have a final destination, actually, not even death. Death is not a final destination. It's just a shift in frequency. We continue existing after that. So,
Can I share my hypothesis of what I think about enlightenment?
Yeah.
I wanted to share. This is an insight I just got, just meditating. Just had a curious questions received about it, like a curious answer. It was, if everything is infinite, like we're infinite, wouldn't enlightenment be infinite as well? So wouldn't there be infinite stages of enlightenment for us to ascend to? So in regards to the spiritual enlightenment and that awakening path, I was that same way. Like I was judging my own experience based upon the enlightened masters out there, like the Buddhas and the Jesus. So I'm comparing my current journey right now to them, and I'm not enlightened, because look at these guys. Look at the level. I'm not on that level yet. But what I realized in my own journey, and this is all of our journeys, we have enlightened moments all the time. Not all the time, but there's some moments that we have some enlightenment moments, like we're connected to that oneness, and we really drop some amazing stuff. So if it's infinite, and this is just my curious question, if it's infinite, aren't we already there? But it's just that we keep ascending more because it's an infinite space. So there's infinite levels of this enlightenment. It's not something to chase. It's something to be in the moment and continue to expand with it moment by moment by moment. That's what I feel. That's my belief. And you create your reality. So that's the reality I'm creating, and that's what I'm accepting. But it feels more at peace and more something like we all are on the soul level, at the level we're supposed to, and we continue to ascend.
That's beautiful, Dell. I resonate with what you're saying. And, the way I see it is that we all are already there. It's just that we are remembering. So this life is a process of remembrance. And it's exactly what you say, it's that infinite space. So, the hard part is that the mind is telling us so many things and so many stories and create so much complexity, when I think it's part of the journey, for us to experience contrast and duality.
Yeah. I love what you mentioned as well of that connectedness of everyone too. Because like my belief is everyone's a student and teacher. And I used to early on my spiritual path feel like I got to be with the people who are in my vibration. Can't be
Mm,
around low vibrational people, or got to stay away from these people because they're asleep and I'm awake, and that type of thing, and that judgment that was going on. But I so resonate with what you said of this being able to connect with everyone because everyone has something to share, but also planting the seeds as well, vice versa. They're planting something for us, but I believe in everything's a synchronicity. Just like us having this conversation here, it's like everything is meant for our soul's evolution. It's like, are we present for it? But everyone can teach you something, and also you can teach someone else something as well in every moment.
exactly. Yeah. And you know, I see a lot of there is a paradox, and it's nice that you are mentioning it, because within the spiritual community, when people are awakening, you know, they have a sort of if I can say like that, resentment towards themselves that are projecting towards, you know, the third dimensional people and non-awakened people, because, you know, when people are awakening, they actually realize, oh, I was lied and betrayed, and you know, they come with a lot of feelings, you know, like it's like, whoa, like my reality. So the way you know, they start to see things from a different perspective, which is kind of like a huge perspective. Like they start to look, you know, like they have all these lenses of perception, and they are like looking through all the lenses, and before they had only one lens, and it's like, whoa, there is so much that actually. So there is a part of their, you know, like maybe the ego deconstructing itself when people are awakening, you know. So there is a lot of projection. And then I saw people that are awakening, they are just going and creating these groups, these clubs, these communities, you know, and they are only with themselves, and they are like all love and light, you know, and they're not very inclusive, you know. So
Oh
then
God.
it's like, guys, what are you doing? You know, if you are awakened and you are a light worker, you are here to actually help, right? To become a bridge and to inspire others to walk your journey, or you know, introduce people to your group, you know. But I saw this, and you know, I saw this around people that are taking starseed identity, because I work with a lot of starseeds, and then I tell them, you know, I connect them with their higher, like, councils of light and different civilizations, and then I deconstruct their starseed identity, you know, because, and I help them do that, because they actually have the connection, but they are not labeling themselves, you know, anymore. So then when they go out in the world, and there are these beautiful, you know, millennium 20 years old beings, they are like, whoa, like I have these connections, and you know, they are inviting other people, they are like co-creating with other people, and you know, it's just so nice. But I know exactly, this is why, you know, like we are meant to create bridges, and we are meant to bridge everything, because I've seen many like fifth dimensional mentors and teachers and 5D business mentors. They are only working with people that are awakened. They don't even want to look at people that are not awakened. It's like, wait a minute, guys. It's like, this is not why the reason you have awakened. You have awakened to help billions of people that are out there that are not awakened. It's like, what are you doing? You know, it's like you have your own club now. You know, we saw enough of the separation consciousness in the third dimension. You know, it's like tribes of the earth are separated. There are like, you know, we are living in countries that we are separated by borders, and we are separated by language. We know that we see cultural separation, societal separation. The third dimensional reality showed us what we don't want. So when we awaken, we are not recreating the same thing that we don't want. We start to create something else, and that's oneness, unity consciousness, inclusion, being not judgmental, being kind, being heart-centered, you know, like following the precision of the heart, being a nice, good, genuine, good person, helping others, and you know, like quality, compassion, qualities that, you know, in the 3D, and you know, in the world where non-awakened people, there's a lot of competition, and you know, separation consciousness and survival mode. People are in survival mode, you know. It's like there is a lot of that, and we want to help them, to show them, it's like, hey, there is another way of actually living and creating a new world, you know. Because if we want a new world, we can't create based on the old system that we know exist. We have to create other systems, or at least take what we know and transform, alchemize. Yeah. So Yes, I hope you guys resonate what I'm saying.
I do. And sorry I'm asking all these questions. So I'm going to allow you to go. So in regards to the people who are in that survival mode and the people who are in that system, and like you said, being that light worker, that being a light and connecting with these people and showing them that there's a different possibility. What about the people who want to hold on to the old paradigm?
And many people will actually choose consciously to not awaken in this lifetime, and they are very successful in the old paradigm, and they want to continue being in that because this is what feels true to them, and this is what makes them happy, and they don't want to explore what is beyond, and that's okay because we can't force anyone. We have free will in this game of life, like we came here with free will, and everyone is exercising their free will, and whatever, some souls will choose to not awaken in this incarnation, in this lifetime, and they will continue their journey in other third dimensional earth worlds, and they will incarnate again and again and again because there is a soul journey. It's like we don't have to push anyone towards, everyone has to awaken now in this lifetime. It's like it's a choice. It's a choice, and comes to choice. I feel like many people will, and millions of people will awaken because Gaia and this planet Earth consciousness is going through huge transformation. So the vibration of the planet is rising, the frequency of the planet is rising, and the planet and the animal kingdom and mineral kingdom and the plant kingdom, their frequency is rising. So then human kingdom is actually entrained into this evolution, even if they want or not. So this is why many people are awakening, because it's an energetic movement that is happening at planetary level. Like we can choose to not awaken, but Gaia will still awaken. And it's just so funny because many people, like, they are actually saying, no, I don't want to awaken, I don't know what that is, but actually they are already, and they're hiding, in that old paradigm and identity. It's like they know everything what's happening, but they don't want to pursue that, because they feel comfortable where they are. They feel comfortable with their lives, they feel comfortable with like the systems, and they feel comfortable into that. So also awakening involves like getting out from your comfort zone, being courageous, breaking the rules, collapsing paradigm, and it's a process. It's a process. I remember when I awakened in that story, when I was in Ireland, I had an Irish boyfriend, and it was a very good relationship. Like we had so much fun and so on. We were drinking Guinness, and we were getting along very well. At that point, I was drinking alcohol. So, and when this shifting consciousness happened to me, there was an awareness in him when he told me, it's like, whoa, I know exactly where you go. I know exactly your path, and I choose not to. And I want to stay in my comfortable life. I really love my life. So he chose, and we separated, and I had to go my journey, and he went on to his journey. But it was a conscious decision. That was the first time when actually I realized, like, whoa, wait a minute, this man is truly, he understands, maybe doesn't have the same understanding as I am, but he made a conscious choice to not go into that, So, and, he's now there, like, in the same reality, doing the same things that he did, many years ago. And yeah, some people are choosing the same thing. That's okay. Yeah.
Right.
So how did you... First time in a podcast when I'm saying that I was drinking Guinness with my Irish boyfriend.
It's all good.
It is.
I'm having some rum right here. So.
Oh my God. How did you start to integrate, these regular everyday things, that people do? It's like, oh, well, I could go take a shower, or I could channel, like with this other civilization. Like, how do you choose between, where your priorities are and, how it is that you want to be in this world?
Well, I think I'm making my choices every day. It was a process for me. That took a couple of years. where I went so high up, like I was in a very accelerated path of ascension, but then my higher self descended back into my body, and I started to become more functional in the world, like I started to become more functional as a human being. It was a process. It didn't just happen immediately. It happened for 2 years, But now, like I have a normal life as you guys, I'm enjoying things as you probably are. And, the way I choose, like how I channel and trans-channel is a co-creation. So, I'm serving people. I have programs that I'm running, and, I'm there in my programs, and I'm offering the teachings that are streaming through me from the Arcturian Council and Sirius Council. So, I have a business that I'm managing in that way. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm living my day-to-day life. And it's, I'm excited about life. Every day I'm waking up and I'm happy that I'm alive. And it's so magical, it's like a miracle. Yes. And, I just want to mention actually, because, just to go back a little bit to the people that are not awakened, I was guided by the Arcturian Council of Light because I moved to Hawaii 1 year ago from Bali. And I just opened last week a yoga and meditation center in the financial district, when there are like non-awakened people going to 9 to 5, being in corporation as I used, and I'm creating this beacon of light in the financial district, in the density of the city, offering them the possibility to come and do yoga and meditation and connect to their souls. So, I'm anchoring this actually in Honolulu, in Hawaii, as a space where people actually can come and experience themselves for 1 hour or 2 hours, connect to their heart and souls. And they don't need to be awakened, they just need to come and connect to their hearts. And I feel like from that space there is a journey, like I'm helping them going through this walk to take baby steps towards their connection. So I feel like us as light workers, we need to help as much as we can. And this is the way I help on this planet. I'm working with people globally, people all around the world working in my programs. And I have this physical space in Honolulu for these beings, that are working from 9 to 5. And I know I was there. So I know exactly how they feel, what their needs are, how broken their body is, their spine, like I know how their body is like crawled, they're working on their laptop. So I'm trying to offer them, like, hey, there is another way. And that's a beautiful way. The way is the way, walking towards your heart consciousness, connecting to your heart, to your body, coming back in the body.
I love it. And in regards to that corporate world and the spiritual world, like you're mentioning, at first, what I thought earlier in the spiritual path was I had to let go of the corporate side of things and the business side of things to be in a spiritual one. But what I realize is now you can be spiritual with no matter what you're doing, because it's who you're being with what you're doing. And I love what you mentioned of having the meditation and the yoga in the financial district, because them doing that is going to help them to even perform even in a more heart-centered, expansive space when they're doing the financial stuff or doing the corporate world. So I love the wavelength that you're in right now and integrating that, because it's something that's definitely needed, something especially during these times with everything that's going on into the world with the shift in consciousness. And what I love about you also, and it's what it sounds like to me, is you're coming from a high frequency, a high level frequency, channeling from the Arcturians and bringing it in, but you're able to bring it down to a level that someone on a corporate level can actually get the essence of your message. But then when somebody's on the different part of the spiritual path, you can bring them the message that resonates with them in the moment. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I walk this path with devotion. This is a path of devotion. Like I'm really on a mission on this planet. This is how I see, and I also see it as a play and a joy. But I'm like very committed to it. Because I want to help people. Like I have this huge desire in my heart that I feel like many people can be inspired, as I am inspired by so many souls. And I truly believe that we can create a new world where we can be, relate to each other in a more authentic, genuine, and compassionate and kind way, where there is more love in human interaction, where, like, to be honest with you, it's like, I don't want to say separation consciousness, because I'm here in Honolulu, and every time I see on the street like these homeless people, that are so marginalized of society and so on, like, I'm like, wow, it's like, I feel and I believe in a world where there is equality and equanimity, and where we help each other genuinely, like, it's not so much separation. And when I see this happening, it's like I can see the how the systems are not working in the third dimension. When you see people that are in lack and scarcity and lack consciousness, this means that there is something that is not working, and we are meant to create something new. And yeah, it's I inspire people to do the same. I work with people that are creating empires of light and 7-8 figure businesses, and they they are able actually to see it and actually redirect their resources where it really matters, creating oasis of light on the planet, creating eco villages and fifth dimensional communities, creating sustainable solutions, like for people that can actually benefit, teaching them how to connect back to the earth, like how to do permaculture. There are like a lot of people all around the world that I'm working with that are doing amazing stuff for the planet, and integrating people. There is an inclusiveness to it, and I like that. I like to see that people are really taking actions as I'm taking actions in physical form, and they are doing it, they are like walking their talk and doing the thing, and anchoring. Because one of us is doing here, I'm doing this in Honolulu. Tomorrow will be someone in Australia will do the same. In France or in Spain will do the same. So it's like it's also the collective consciousness when we are all connecting with the newer frequencies. That there is that, like, how realities are creating. We are creating realities by collectively thinking the same thoughts and the same beliefs, and we are creating realities. So when many of us start to dream the dream and make it real, that it becomes real. The reality becomes real. We start to access those realities that the collective is not even able to dream. And we go into that space when we create realities because we are choosing it in a different way. So yeah, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I feel like many people are inspired. They are transforming their lives, and they are becoming more human beings. Like more human in a way, and more connected to their hearts. Yeah,
I love it. And the question I have now, that you're talking about the 3D systems aren't working, and I want to hear about, what do you feel is the 5D system that could work for the collective?
Yeah, so, firstly, we know that at some point, the economical and financial systems on the third dimensions are going to collapse. So things are not going to work anymore, because we've already seen, like, I think when it comes to money frequency, the money frequency is evolving. So, for example, before it was a trade, like how the human started to actually then become a coin, like, metal, gold or silver, whatever. And now it's like, paper, we're exchanging money, and then it's like cryptocurrency. It becomes like a digital currency. And in the future, the money frequency will become just frequency, where we are just exchanging to our gifts and talents, where everyone is going to be fully activated in their abilities and capacities. And, it will be a different type of trade, So I feel like many system, like economical system, financial system, is very much based on slavery, if I can say like that. It's not equal, and doesn't give equal rights to people. It's like, yes, you have a job and you have a salary, and then you have credit cards, and you take your car and your home and whatever on credit. You are becoming a slave to the banks, and you are in a system, and you are completely plugged in. Like, it's like, it's very hard to unplug from that. While, into a new world, the banks will collapse. Like, at some point, the banks will not exist anymore. This type of slavery, like, can't continue forever, So the way we are creating the new is by letting go of the old, learning what have worked and what didn't have worked, and trying to create newness, And we can see there are many, like, digital currencies that are creating the world, because people are trying to create something, to do something, but it's very volatile. Like the cryptocurrency market is very, very volatile. It's just another way of like, the third dimensional system being replicated in a more like digital way. But I feel like in the future, like if we take the educational system in the third dimension is like really bad, like it's really lacking, a lot of components. While there are already created, like there are different schools that are starting to be created all around the world, which are alternative schools for children, where the child doesn't need to go into a building and stay there for I don't know how many hours and, have like a couple of hours of connecting to nature when they can learn in nature. So there are many alternative schools that are already created, which is part of this fifth dimensional new way. Like the educational system is changing, the financial system is changing, the economical system will change as well, because whatever is happening now will not last forever. And we've seen the stock market is collapsed. The cryptocurrency market is quite low. The only stable commodities are gold and silver in this moment. So I think we are moving towards like somehow we are regressing, if I can say like that, when it comes to what is like, I think in the future gold there will be like a very is, and it will always stay like a stable commodity. So and I have many friends that are financial advisors, and they are like looking on the markets and financial markets and stock market every day, and they are seeing the changes that are happening, and the changes will come in the future. So, everything is organically evolving. Nothing stays the same. Like the economical system is evolving, financial, social, cultural, everything is changing and transforming. Now, the question is actually, are we able actually to be those visionaries and to look a little bit ahead of the current timelines and to actually connect to the future timelines where we already seen the change, and how we can actually create something that is from the future timelines into the now, how we can bring that knowledge from the future into the now. There are many visionaries that are taking actions. They know exactly how everything are going to change, and they're already building things, because they know, like they have the vision, and they're already building things from the future in the now, and they are creating infrastructures, like the new earth infrastructures. So this is how I see the things changing and transforming and evolving over time, and it's happening already. Like we will witness in this lifetime, this incarnation, huge changes at planetary and global level when it comes to the financial, economical, social, cultural system. And it's so interesting, because we had this COVID pandemic happening, which actually created like many people awaken after that, and there was a lot of separation consciousness infused in the collective sphere, but then people came out of it and became even more connected to each other and more like exuberating more oneness and unity consciousness frequency. So everything is happening on the planet, no matter how bad it is. Us as a human race, we have a very high capacity of adaptability, and I feel like we are always evolving no matter what is happening on Earth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, so man, so many more questions I have. Well, we're at the top of the hour for this. So in regards to this new earth that's unraveling, what was the Arcturian message through you in regards to the message to the collective with this shift that's happening in the present moment?
Yeah, so the message is for us to connect to our heart consciousness and to follow the precision of our hearts, to remember who we are as infinite potentials, and to not lose sight of our divine nature that is infinite in kind. So every time when the Arcturian Council is coming, they are not so much connected to our third dimensional reality. They don't really consider that this is important, because they are seeing us, always as a collective, always moving through time and space and changing. But what they are actually saying is, guiding us through this transformation. They're always guiding, like they're beaming that light for us when we walk through a tunnel that is dark, for us to see the light and to follow it. So they are not, the Arcturian Council is not like, I had a client once, it's so funny. I have to say this because it's just funny. So, I had a client, it's like, he was so much in cryptocurrency and like investment. And I was in a private container with him. So I was mentoring him privately, and he was always asking me, it's like, hey, like asking the council, because they were conversing with them, it's like, what is the coin that is going to be like, I have to invest, that is going to be like crash the market, I'm going to put my money in, and the council recommended. They knew, they were like, you can do this, and this, and the client gained a lot of money from it. He bets on what the council said, and the next session is like, I want more, and they were like, no, we are not going to do anything. It's like, this is not, it's like, we like to play with you. We played, we really enjoyed watching you after taking the actions and so on, but they are not very connected to our third dimension. They actually believe and consider that this is not as important as our evolution, so it's like, sometimes I go in these interviews and podcasts, and some people is like, what do you think is going to happen in the next 5 years on planet Earth? Are we going to have a tsunami? Are we going, like, they want like very precise things, and the Arcturian Council never offers like, because what's happening in the quantum field, there are infinite realities. There are potentialities. Nothing is set in stone. Everything is changing every day. So, what they're offering is, like opening our consciousness for us to tap into that potentiality and choose individually and collectively what we want to experience. Because in the end, this life is a choice, and every reality is what we can experience. So, yeah. I hope this answers your question, Dell.
It does. I was just saying, like, you imagine like the Arcturian Council of Light financial show, like stocks invested. The stocks invested.
I'm not going to take a job on Wall Street, in case I don't want to be an oracle for the people that are just, like looking at the stock market.
That's good. That's good. And thank you. Thank you. This has been a very powerful and amazing conversation. And you dropped a lot of amazing magic in this for all of us to take in for ourselves. And the one thing I got from this all is you gotta get back to the heart connection, back into the heart, and go from there. But I want to allow you, one, where can people find you? And then two, what is one magical message that you like to share with our audience?
So thank you so much, Del. So I'm going to say my name again, Livia Devi. You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram ID is Arcturians Channeling. I know this is a long word, but Arcturians Channeling, or you just look after Livia Devi and you'll find me. Then on Facebook, Livia Devi Global, my website, liviadevi.com. And YouTube, Livia Devi Global. You can actually go on YouTube. There are a lot of resources over there, like podcasts and a lot of things that even your daily podcast will be put in there if you allow us to actually share your magic with everyone.
Yeah.
So even if you type my name on Google, you can find more information about me and we can connect. And the message that I would like to let everyone with is, to always remember who they are. Like, we are these divine, magical light beings that we have a human experience. And it's, we are not humans having a spiritual experience. It's the other way around. We are these infinite beings having a human experience in this incarnation. And it's nice to remember who we are, also to not forget to bring joy and happiness in our lives and every day, and playfulness, and to look at everything that we are experiencing in our lives as challenges or trials or initiations, as a catalyst for change, and change is constant. This is how we flow on this incarnation. Nothing stays the same. So, look at everything with like, see the potentiality in everything, and look through the eyes of love, through the eyes of your heart, through the eyes of your consciousness. And yes, enjoy this beautiful life. Enjoy the ride. It's amazing. Make it amazing. You can make it amazing. And thank you so much, Dell and Kai, for having me here today. It was really beautiful. And I can speak for hours, guys. Like, I have a lot to share. But I know that, your audience received exactly what they needed. And it was very, very enjoyable for me. It was fun. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. The invitation's open for you to come back. So yeah, we're gonna talk for another hour. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who showed up as well with your comments and the likes and the love. This was a magical space, and this wouldn't have been as magical if you weren't here. And synchronistically, you were here. And thank you for the people who are just coming in. You can definitely catch a replay of this, which I highly recommend. And until next time,
stay magical.
You've been listening to our Daily Magic Podcast with Kai and Dell. Please like, subscribe, and tune in next week for another magical episode. Visit www.ourdailymagic.com for more. Thank you for listening, and have a magical day.